What is going on, everyone? It is time to answer another important fitness question, which is, can you gain muscle and lose fat at the same time? Now, the answer to this question is kind of difficult to give a clear answer on, but for the most part it is yes. Now, I saw online the other day, this topic came up and someone said flat out, no, it's not possible, you know, and they gave no reason really. They just said, no, you can't gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, no way. But the reality is you can, but it does depend a lot on your timing of how far you are into lifting, and also a few other different factors. So first off, let's look at when you first get into lifting. Okay, this is the main time you can both gain muscle and lose fat, because as a newbie, your body is pretty much going to respond to any type of training, right? And so you're going to gain the muscle, and because you're training, burning extra calories, you still just have that potential to burn fat, especially if you're younger, when your metabolism is super high. But obviously, even if you're older, maybe in your 30s, 40s, I don't know, even older than that perhaps, if you have never lifted before, never weight trained, if you start weight training, then you still have that potential to actually maybe build muscle and lose fat. Okay, so first things first is to realize that as a newbie, that is going to be the most important or the easiest time to do both gaining muscle and losing fat at the exact same time. Now, in terms of diet, as a newbie, you don't really need to look at diet manipulation much at all. Okay, whether you're in a surplus of calories or whether you're in a deficit, you're probably going to have the potential to gain muscle and lose fat. Now, if you're maybe past those newbie stages, maybe if you're 1 year, 2 years into lifting, then it's going to come down more to diet manipulation. Okay, once you're past the newbie gains, it becomes a lot harder. Pretty much once you've got past the newbie gains, you have to either be bulking or cutting. You have to either be gaining muscle or losing fat, and it is very difficult to do both at the same time. However, while it is very difficult, it's not impossible. Okay, you've got two options. Whether you decide to bulk or cut, the idea would be that you are in a very slight deficit or surplus. So you're either, I would say, 100 to 250 calories max in a deficit or in a surplus. This means that you're either putting on, a little bit of weight each week and each month, or you're losing a little bit of weight each week and each month. Obviously, when you are in a surplus, you're definitely going to have the potential to build a muscle. No questions asked, as long as you're, training hard with intensity as well, and that your macros are on point, you're getting enough protein, things like that. But in a deficit, pretty much this is where it gets super hard to build muscle. Now, you might actually see a few videos talking about the fact that you can build muscle in a deficit even when you're past the newbie gains because of a positive nitrogen balance, and you achieve that by making sure that your protein intake is high enough to achieve those positive nitrogen levels in your body, and therefore to be able to still build muscle even while you're in that deficit. Now, if you're cutting, I recommend that you eat about 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein at least per pound of body weight. This means that you should definitely be optimizing those nitrogen levels. And if you're bulking, you probably only need about 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, and you should still have those positive nitrogen levels. However, this may differ for everyone, so it's each to their own really. Okay, so we've talked about newbie gains and how you can achieve the muscle building and fat loss at the same time when you get past the newbie gains. Now, the thing to keep in mind with all of this is that it is a slow process. Okay, lean bulking, gaining muscle and losing fat, doing, killing two birds with one stone, having your cake and eating it too, whatever you want to call it, it's never going to be easy. Gaining muscle is always going to take a long time naturally. Losing fat can happen a lot quicker. However, whenever you are losing fat, you're generally losing muscle. And so my suggestion here is that first off, you have to decide what is your main goal. Okay, are you looking for the aesthetics? Are you looking to mainly lose fat so you have the cuts, the shreds, and you look really, really good, and possibly you're not so worried about building muscle, or you feel like you already have a fairly solid base, that where you cut down you have enough muscle mass to, you know, look good. Or you have to decide, okay, I don't have the muscle mass yet, so I need the muscle mass, and therefore I need to be in that slight calorie surplus in order to help myself, you know, gain a little bit more muscle and try to lose fat at the same time. The other thing to keep in mind is that you should be doing some kind of cardio if you want to be burning some fat as well. Maybe try intermittent fasting, things like that. You know, it's all about diet manipulation, and obviously your training is going to play a part, but it's mainly going to be the diet. Carbs and fat, obviously you want to manipulate the most, and just make sure you have enough protein. So I think the key thing you have to do is to decide what your goal is, because that will determine whether you go into that slight deficit or that slight surplus. Just remember to always keep it slight so that you can get 2 bites of the cherry if possible. Remember guys, this is a marathon, not a sprint. You've got to be willing to put in the time and effort, and realize that it is going to take time and effort, and a lot of it, in order to see the results you want to see. So I hope this video was helpful for you all. If it was, make sure you give it a big like down below. Leave any comments you have in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next video.